Thanks for tuning in this evening for a Penn State Campus Weather Service live broadcast team special report on the first major winter storm of the season for much of the East Coast. And Amanda, this will be a potentially historic storm for many portions of the Mid-Atlantic.
Yes, it started out along the West Coast as an upper-level disturbance, but it's since made its way through the southeast, producing several tornadoes overnight last night, and it's also made its way up the East Coast and produced quite a bit of snow and actually some icing in parts of the Carolinas.
That's right. The latest information out of South Carolina confirms we already have 120,000 customers without power, and we only expect that number to grow across the East Coast as we head tonight and into the day tomorrow.
And we also want to update you on the latest weather warnings. So if you look at this map, areas in pink are the winter storm warnings, and that encompasses most of Kentucky, Tennessee, North Carolina, West Virginia, and Virginia, as well as parts of Pennsylvania. Areas in purple are under a winter storm advisory, and that includes the northern extent of the storm, which Centre County is included in. Also of note, along near Washington, D.C. and southeastern Pennsylvania and parts of New Jersey, that is a blizzard warning. So those criteria is heavy snow enough to reduce visibility with some gusty winds lasting for 3 hours or more. So that's something to keep in mind, as all of those warnings are in effect through tonight and tomorrow and into Sunday morning. So make sure to keep that in mind as you're looking forward to travel for this weekend. We now will send it over to the weather wall with our forecaster, Andy Moffitt.
Thanks, Amanda. Taking a live look right now at the satellite and radar, you can see the extensiveness of this storm stretching all the way down towards the Atlanta area right now, where some rain is falling, and up towards the north in the Raleigh area, some freezing rain has been falling, and then towards Washington, D.C., of course, that heavy snow bringing several inches of accumulating snow, and that will turn into feet as we go through the day tomorrow, and up near the Harrisburg area also some snow. Towards the closer in radar here in State College, you can see that heavier band is now working its way to the north. That's passed through Harrisburg and just passing through the Johnstown area right now. One way to tell where the snow is falling and where it's actually not falling is looking at the visibilities. Here in Altoona, 0.75 miles of visibility right now. State College dropping also 5-mile visibility. Pittsburgh coming in at 1 and Harrisburg coming in at 1. So that's all areas where the snow is falling. And as we head towards the south, even heavier snow. Baltimore right now at 0.75 miles and D.C. at 0.75 miles. So that's how you can tell where the snow is falling. Another way is looking at our observations. We have snow falling in State College. Franklin, the snow's almost there. It just shows cloudy right now, 19 degrees there. Allentown also, it shows snow on radar, but none being picked up on the ground, according to this observation. Snowing in Philadelphia right now and Harrisburg as we go through the night tonight. Looking at the overall pattern of this system, you can see those snow showers will work their way up towards the New York area, even including New York and maybe even Boston. We'll be near the northern extent of this storm, and that's why it's iffy what our accumulations will be. The farther northwest this storm gets, the more accumulations we'll pick up as we go through the night tonight and the day tomorrow. Looking close up in on some of these warnings, blizzard warnings for the Washington, D.C. area, that's till Sunday morning at 6 a.m. As we go towards the Philadelphia area, those continue till Sunday morning at 10 a.m. And then the New York area, those go to Sunday morning at 7 a.m. Closer towards us, we have a winter storm warning just to our south. That includes the Johnstown area. And then as we go towards State College, we are right now under a winter weather advisory, and that is until 4 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. Looking outside right now from Beaver Stadium, here is where you can see that snow is falling. Visibilities are decreased on the ground. And as we head towards the Tussey Ridge camera, you can see also that you can't even see State College, just these towers there in the distance, and that is because that snow is falling and we're up in the cloud there. Temperatures right now, 19 degrees, snow is falling. Visibility 5 miles at the surface, obviously lower as you get up into the mountains. East-northeast wind at 10 miles per hour. Temperatures across the state, I showed these earlier, 16 in Bradford, 14 now near Johnstown. That is the cold spot, and that's been the cold spot all day today. 19 here in State College. A little bit warmer as you head off towards the east, 27 in Allentown and 24 in Philadelphia. Now here's your futurecast. Tonight you can see here at 8 p.m. that snow just to the south of State College just starting to get into this area. As we approach midnight, that snow will be well into the State College area and off towards the east. Allentown getting some moderate to light snow then. Harrisburg getting some even heavier snow at this time at midnight. As we go through the early morning hours, State College will continue to get snow, probably some heavier snow bands will work their way up towards the northwest around 4 a.m. or so, and that will continue into the early morning. 10 a.m. Harrisburg still getting snow right now, off towards the east Allentown getting some heavier snow as well. Things, though, up towards the northwest will be less, just as you can see just to the northwest of State College, not any snow falling. And then as we go through the day tomorrow, that precipitation will be mainly off towards our south and our east, and that will work its way off completely to the east as we go through the day and the afternoon tomorrow, and we will clear out for early Sunday morning. So Sunday should be a beautiful day here in State College with some sun even. And here's our snow map from the Penn State Campus Weather Service. 1 to 3 inches expected off towards our north. And as you can see here in State College, 3 to 6, we're just on the border of that 6 to 12 inches. So if the storm shifts to the north a little bit, we could be expecting some more accumulations here in State College. 12 to 18 inches down near Harrisburg area. And then the big spot down near Philadelphia and York, 18 inches plus. And that is where the blizzard warnings are for. So lots and lots of snow if you're in the extreme southern portions of the state. And how will this affect travel as we go into this weekend? Low travel impacts are expected to the northwest, including the Pittsburgh area. Some moderate travel impacts here in State College due to that snow. Some will be sticking on the roads. There's not too much, most likely. High travel impacts in the Harrisburg area and the Allentown area, and then very high as you head further south, Baltimore, Washington, D.C., and Philadelphia. Don't travel in those areas. Travel will become almost impassable at times, especially during the early morning hours tomorrow. That's it from here at the green screen. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Andy.
Just to recap, travel not advised over much of the Mid-Atlantic through the remainder of the weekend.
For example, Washington, D.C. just the other day got an inch of snow, and they had quite a few travel nightmares. Rush hour lasted beyond midnight. That was quite the buzz on social media.
That's right. Speaking of social media, we'll now throw it over to Brian and Mike, who have been tracking the storm on Twitter all afternoon. We'll throw it off to the social media desk for all the latest.
Thank you, guys. We're down here in our social media center. I'm student meteorologist Brian Mastro.
And I'm Michael Prianti.
And we're going to be looking at the latest activity on social media from this storm from all across the areas being impacted. We're going to start in Nashville, where we have Bryant Cook, who has tweeted that 6.7 inches of snow have fallen at Nashville International Airport, and his home in Portland has received 8 inches of snow. So even well down in the south, they just have lots of snow falling, and there's still some more to come there later on this evening.
Just to also mention, that is Portland, Tennessee, not Portland, Maine, just to make sure that you are not confused about that. Another tweet here at Winter Expert. Snow is seen on Interstate 40 on Friday in Nashville, Tennessee. Again, playing on the fact of the snow in Nashville. You see here there is just standstill in the interstate. Snow is falling down in this area and is certainly making for tough travel as you head in parts of Tennessee.
This is why all those agencies are encouraging people to stay off the roads and stay safe, because a lot of the traffic, even if there are people on the road, will just turn into this, and this is just asking for accidents to occur. And then as we move further up the coast, we go up, well, over to Kentucky anyway, we have this little fella playing outside in the snow. Just, it's always nice to lighten the mood with some cute pictures of some dogs just playing around in the snow.
That's right, dogs in the snow, they're always fun. Danielle Ricks at Danielle Ricks said, "What? I'm a cyclist and I wouldn't be out there on my own bike." This is in relation to a tweet that at Post Local sent out saying that 101 people are still out there on Capital Bike Share bikes. This is from the Washington Post as well. So it looks like people are out there on their bikes in the snowstorm. That's not really safe.
No, that's not safe at all. I mean, I guess it's better than driving in a car, just because you're not driving around a multi-ton vehicle that can kill other people, but we definitely don't recommend riding your bike through a blizzard either. And then also from Danielle Ricks, this is what we do encourage during the storm, to be staying inside. She's saying it's time to renew her Netflix subscription so that way she can stay inside and stay hunkered down during the storm and avoid going outside into the extremes of the storm.
Well, I do hope that she doesn't lose power, because I know a lot of places down there have already lost power, especially in Virginia. But if she doesn't lose power, she has all the Netflix she needs. Going up the coast, again, this is actually in the same area, here is the supermarket in the Washington, D.C. Metro area. And if you look at it, it's completely empty. It almost looks like it's been ransacked by a mob. It's just completely empty. There's a few items here and there, especially some cheese that's left over, but you really don't need cheese in a winter storm. But if you look at that one aisle, it's just things are like all over the place, all off the shelves. It looks like like a tornado went by.
Well, there's no tornado, luckily.
No.
But it does look like people went absolutely crazy on that one aisle in particular where there is just leftover scraps that people didn't want just all over the place. And then also, on a more serious note, we do, of course, have the soldiers at the tomb of the unknown soldier who never leave their post. And as this quote says from the old guard, "I will guard everything within the limits of my post and quit my post only when properly relieved." So we do, of course, thank the men and women of our armed services who, even during this blizzard and these horrible conditions, are still standing guard in our nation's capital.
That's right, and they do have to serve overseas in even worse conditions, especially in the Middle East. So we thank them for their continued support in our country. Also, at KTD, C GoGo, here's a tweet, is a picture of a snowplow that apparently got stuck. It doesn't look like there's a lot of snow on the ground. What possibly happened was that the plow jumped the curb and it's stuck on the grass side of the curb. So it looks like people are over there are trying to get him out. But of course, plows are doing their best with this storm as the snowfall rates are just tremendous.
Yes, the plows are doing their best, and just as this video from Washington, D.C. shows, as the plows are entering into the Capitol and they are plowing what is not the Beltway, but one of the branches off the Beltway, the George Washington Parkway, on the approach to D.C., just trying to keep those roads cleared as best they can, which is a very difficult task with the amount of snow they are dealing with down there.
Right. Well, if we go to our neck of the woods here in State College, Brian Latta at Weather Latta shows a screen capture of the live webcam downtown here in State College. And the snow this is around 8:30 p.m. on Friday, and this shows all the snow that's falling down. There's a little bit of traffic here. All the CATA buses are lined up across the bus stop. This is, I believe, right next to the corner room. So snow just started over there, and it's making roads pretty slick.
Yeah, like we mentioned, we do encourage people to please stay off the roads, allow the plows to clear the roads, wait until the storm passes in order so that you may be able to get to your destination safely and not have the dangers of the snow falling. And then we're going to have one last tweet just to put this storm in some perspective. This storm on the right here, that is the blizzard of '93, which oftentimes is referred to as the storm of the century and is one of the most historic blizzards to ever impact the east coast of the United States. And you can notice that just by the sheer size of it. And then on the left here, we have this year's blizzard, the blizzard of 2016. And you can notice they're very similar in shape. One thing I especially want you to pay attention to is notice how far that moisture stream extends down, drawing all the way from down by Panama and extending all the way into the core of the storm. So just a tremendous amount of energy is being drawn into this storm. And this just puts that into perspective of just how massive this storm truly is.
Yeah, and also the point to also add to that, if you see these, it looks like a comma. If you look at the image here, it has that comma shape. Whenever you have this sort of comma cloud structure with the storm, you know that this storm is ramping up and really getting serious.
Yeah, and that's all we have time for down here in the social media desk. Thank you for joining us. Now we're going to go back upstairs to the desk with Amanda and Hunter.
Thank you, Brian and Mike, for all of that information. We'll continue to track the storm on Twitter. Be sure to follow us at PSU Weather on Twitter, and we'll keep you updated with all the latest.
Yeah, speaking of following the storm, we've had our model experts following the storm throughout the week as each different model has come through with its different runs. So with the latest data, we're going to send it upstairs to Sean, Alex, and Paul.
We're going to go over generally what models are showing for the next several hours of this winter storm. To start off, we'll go to Paul here, who is going to discuss what the high-resolution rapid refresh model is showing, also known as the HRRR, throughout its entire run of only 15 hours out. Paul?
The HRRR is one of the short-range models that meteorologists use to basically show what will happen over the next several hours or so. Right now, the HRRR is doing a good job as to where it is placing the moderate to heavy precipitation, and throughout the run, it is predicting that moderate to heavy bands will remain in the State College area through at least early to mid-morning tomorrow, as that coastal storm really gets cranking tomorrow, delivering bands of heavy snow to eastern PA and portions of central PA.
Now, her run also actually drops about 12 inches of snow here for State College, getting towards the end of the time frame. We'll see how that pans out as we go through time. We're going to hand it over here to Alex, who's going to go through one of the other short-range models that we like to use.
Right, so this is the RGEM. It's one of the Canadian short-range, higher-resolution models. And throughout the time of the last several runs, the RGEM has kept snow just a little bit south of here. But on this previous run here, the RGEM has actually brought some extra banding features into central Pennsylvania. So I would imagine that State College could see a little bit more snow on this final run here. So yes, there are a couple of things we have to be looking for going into the rest of the night, into tomorrow morning. Specifically, these lingering bands could dump a couple more inches of snow, leading to some tricky situations in predicting final snowfalls here in central Pennsylvania.
Another thing us meteorologists like to do is to look at the current radar and show how it's reacting towards certain model runs, show how our radar looks like compared to what certain models have. So Alex and Paul, if you guys sort of want to go back and forth and show what certain models are showing compared to what our radar currently looks like.
So what's interesting to note is, especially through State College, central Pennsylvania here, a little bit of a pretty decent band, maybe 20, 25 decibels, came through just recently, and as you can tell, another one is trying to set up here. And I believe most of the models couldn't really pick up on this too much, so maybe adding an additional inch or two of snow would be possible that these models were not able to pick up on right away. But like I said, going into the future, it's possible that now they're trying to find some of these extra bands that will be lingering into Pennsylvania as the low passes to our south and east. So especially something to look forward to going into the future here.
Something else to also note is that the RGEM, which we were talking about earlier, seems to have initialized slightly south with the precipitation shield compared to observations. Now, the RGEM overall did a good job simulating where the precipitation shield was overall, but in terms of immediate sensible weather impacts here in State College, that could be the difference between a moderate snow band and absolutely nothing at all.
Well, that seems to be all the time we have for tonight, so I hope you enjoyed a little intro into how meteorologists interpret short-range models and what we do to get a nailed-down forecast. For once again, I'm Sean Romeo along with Paul Mykolajtchuk and Alex Tomoff. Back to you guys, the desk.
Thanks for that in-depth analysis, guys. And now we have our very own JP Tracey live outside.
That's right, JP standing out in the cold and the snow. JP, what's the latest?
All right, thanks, guys. Yes, as you can see, the snow is really starting to pick up out here. It is already starting to accumulate on many surfaces, including the street. As you can see, this is Atherton Street behind me, and traffic is already starting to move slow. The snow, as it falls throughout the night, will not help that. Now I'm going to talk a little bit more about this snow. I'm going to pick some up over here, and you're going to notice that this is a very light and fluffy snow. It is definitely not good for making snowballs, but it is good for causing issues here in Centre County and throughout the Mid-Atlantic. Now remember, throughout the duration of the storm, the further south and east you head, the more the winds and snow will pick up. So travel south and east of here especially will be dangerous. Remember to stay safe. For the Campus Weather Service, I'm JP Tracey. Now back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, JP, for that information. Be sure to stay warm out there.
So we're now going to turn it back to Andy at the weather wall for the quick wrap-up forecast. Andy?
Thanks, guys. And just a few key points to look out as we go through this event. Snow will be progressing from the south to the north, and those heaviest amounts will be towards our south and east. So areas like Harrisburg should expect more snow than us. How close those heavy amounts come to State College is the question. Looking at the travel impacts as we go through the next couple of hours in a day or so here, those low impacts up towards the North Pittsburgh, once again, only expecting light travel impacts, moderate travel impacts in the State College area, higher once you get down towards the south and the east, the Harrisburg area, and the Allentown area. Don't travel unless you absolutely have to in those areas, and really don't travel as you get down towards Washington, D.C. and Baltimore and in the Philadelphia area as well, as much higher snow amounts will make travel very difficult. Those snow amounts, here they are, 1 to 3 inches to the north of State College in the Williamsport area, in the Scranton area. State College should get 3 to 6. We're right on that border of that 6 to 12. So any shift to the north, and we can expect some more accumulations here in State College. And as we head farther to the south and the east, Harrisburg, 12 to 18 inches, and blizzard conditions in Philadelphia and York, 18 plus inches of snow with some high gusty winds, which will create those blizzard conditions. Now back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Andy, for that quick forecast. Unfortunately, that's about all we have for tonight.
Be sure to follow us on Twitter at PSU Weather. We'll keep you updated on all the latest as the storm continues to develop.
On behalf of all of us here at the live broadcast team, thanks for joining us. I'm Amanda Reynolds.
And I'm Hunter Williams. Have a safe evening.